When you consider the role of honeybees in agriculture, you may think of one thing: honey. But that's not bees' most important role.
Honeybees' major importance, say, in food supply or to humans is their ability to pollinate a wide variety of crops.
In the United States alone, bee pollination is a $20 billion industry. Meanwhile, despite increasing need for crops and continued dependency on bee pollination, bee colony numbers are in decline. In 1947, the number of colonies was 6 million. In 2015, that number was as low as 2.5 million. Alarmingly, there is no single reason for this epidemic. And despite government regulations that help avoid direct contact of pesticides with bees, traces of pesticides are an ever-present threat.
Now, instead of big piles of dead bees, what we have are these sublethal effects where bees are bringing back small doses of pesticides, not enough to kill individual adults, let's say, but those compounds then end up in small doses in nectar, and they end up, small doses being fed to developing larvae.
These small doses have far-reaching effects on bee colonies, such as delayed development of larvae, reduced foraging activity, and greater susceptibility to diseases. So if exposure to pesticides is inevitable, how can we prevent pesticides' harmful effect on bees? A groundbreaking new product called BeeToxx.
The concept is really simple. We designed small microparticles that can only deliver it to bees. Bees can ingest these microparticles. These microparticles can attract the toxic molecule.
These microparticles, made from a carbonized material, are excreted from the bees after the toxins have been absorbed. However, creating a carbon material that is safe for bees to ingest is no simple task.
The challenge we faced was there's no people has done this before. There is no people took care about bees from inside their bodies. We went back to beehive and we looked at beehive system. We found that there is a material that we can use from beehive system. The material we use is bee pollen.
Because pollen is naturally ingested by bees, it is a perfect base material. Through extensive experimentation, Dr. Suleiman has refined the carbonizing process, and testing on live bees has shown positive results.
In the first experiments, we worked with about 3,000 bees in cages. After that, we doubled the number and we started applying pesticides in the bee cages and monitoring the mortality rate, how many bees did and how many bees survived. So from these percentages, we make calculations and we found that microparticles works perfect inside bee bodies.
Not only is BeeToxx effective, it's also simple to administer.
That's one of the beauties of the product, is that you can just mix it into the sugar syrup and then bees readily take up that sugar syrup like they would natural nectar.
Although there are many challenges facing bees, BeeToxx is poised to make a substantial impact on the world's bee population.
When we designed BeeToxx for this particular application, we designed that with hope that one day we can make a dent in the universe. By having BeeToxx on the beekeeping industry, we have a strong tool to keep our bees healthy and safe.